Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Killer Campout. Camping can be deadly.
Directed by Brad Twigg, starring Julio Bana Fernandez, Luba Hansen, Jesse L. Green, and special cameos from John A. Russo and Herschel Gordon-Lewis.
Sit back, enjoy the show.
Killer Campout is about a group of troubled teens that go camping to seek therapy. Unfortunately, they are stalked and killed by a cannibalistic killer. So what do we like?
I liked the campy nature of this film, and I mean that in the literal sense. I enjoyed that this took place at a camp in the woods. It's one of those films that you want to see, like just people like wandering around in the woods, getting killed, and it is campy.
Yeah, they definitely delivered on what you would expect, especially if you've seen the trailer. We did a reaction, and it's pretty much lives up to the trailer. Kids in the woods, walking around aimlessly, fucking, and getting killed. And the kills are awesome. All of the kills in this blew me away. Everything is super graphic, it's really intense, and just there's lots of blood all over the place. I was really impressed considering this is a low-budget indie slasher.
And they weren't short on the kills. And that's what's nice about something like this, is you're going into this film hoping to see those deaths, and you get all of them.
The movie in general, well, it is low budget, looks higher budget. The quality of the shots look really nice, like everything's nice and bright and vivid, and the cinematography is really good as well.
I enjoyed the fact that they did all the audio in post. The ADR is what the special touch is to make this feel like an 80s slasher. It deliberately has the dubbing poorly done.
Or we hope so, anyway.
We've got a couple missing persons reports in.
Jesus Christ, that makes 5 this month. What the hell's going on out here?
In one of these movies, you're gonna want nudity. And you get nudity, and the nudity is great. We see probably like 3 to 4 sets of boobs, and they're amazing. Even if there is some continuity errors with nipple piercings, but we won't dock any points for that. We'll just appreciate it because we had to rewind and watch again to make sure that we caught that. For research, guys.
I enjoyed our characters in this film. I thought they were stereotypical to what they needed to be. John was the rocker hero protagonist. He was a good guy.
It'll get better. I promise.
Chad was the dick who you just had to hate.
And you knew you were gonna hate him because his name was Chad. That's just something that happens.
How about you let me get in there and get at that pussy? I'll make that bitch scream.
And he did a good job at it. I was pissed off every time he was on screen, and I wanted to see him die.
And I was pretty certain it was Hobson like the entire time. Now it's time for our dislikes.
My biggest dislike in this film is the fact that the kills were not spread out enough. We really didn't get anything until the final act. I've said it before in films like this, when you have a lot of characters, you need to at least kill 1 or 2 off early to make it seem like something is going on. And in this case, everyone just kind of died in one foul swoop.
But we did have some people die at the very beginning.
We did, but they were not into relation with our main cast.
Correct. It was a separate group.
No one was gonna die from the camp until the end of the movie. And I think they needed to kill off 1 or 2 characters to build that fear, and it just all happened in one go.
My biggest issue was with the big therapy session that they had. There are a lot of times where it's just 2 characters on screen talking about like their past and trying to develop characters, but it's kind of weird because they are in a group setting, but it's just 2 characters talking. It seemed like that happened more often than not in this movie, and those scenes would last 2 to 3 minutes. And it's always like pairs of people that consistently talk together, but they don't often talk to more than one other person at a time. And it's kind of strange. Strange to the point where I'm calling it out, because I thought it was really awkward because a lot of the conversations could have been done in a group setting, in which case we didn't have to have like 2 to 3 minutes of dialogue per little session.
It kind of felt as though this was forced character development. It's like, we want to develop these characters and we want to make it very blatant and very obvious who they are, so we're going to give them screen time to tell their story. You need to just have that happen like naturally. Like Chad's character developed as someone who we wanted to hate, and it was because of what he did from beginning to end of the film.
Now can you leave us alone? We're trying to have a conversation here.
Long-haired faggot.
Not, here's a 5-minute monologue, you're gonna want to hate them after that.
Their backstories didn't really play much to how their characters developed throughout the rest of the film, so it didn't really matter that we knew their backstories.
This was actually a very weak story. It was predictable. Jay and I both called how the film was going to end from one line 5 minutes in.
No, this is a secret family recipe. You won't find anything like this in a restaurant.
And they're throwing red herrings as to what's going to happen, how the film's going to progress, but everyone's going to know exactly what the little twist is going to be. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Killer Campout was a fun time. It was a little indie gory slasher that you're gonna have fun with if you like this kind of movie. If you like stuff like Pork Chop, I think that's probably the most relatable series where it's just people in a forest getting murdered. The practical effects are awesome. All of the kills are great. There's nudity, and it's basically what you'd want in a slasher movie. Unfortunately, it does fail when it comes to some of like the pacing issues and some of the characters and even the end of the film, which everybody is going to know how it ends. But I think at the end of the day, people would have a good time with this, so I'm gonna give this 3 glorious Lemmys out of 5.
This film is one of those movies that suffers from a poor story, but really good special and practical effects. It's an awesome, campy, feely movie that has really good deaths and gratuitous nudity. The downfall is the story is just not strong enough. We have forced character development. We have a very evident plot twist that is established early in the film, and it lacks from pacing in how the characters interact with the killer and when they're killed off. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a great movie. To me, this is something that is right down the middle. And with that being said, I'm gonna have to give this 2.5 battle axes out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, there are links in the description where you can find it. And this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.